Hey folks, welcome back to the shop in this, I don't know, in between time. I don't know what to call this yet. Off week. Maybe we'll call it an off week. Oh my, that's heavy. The shop is a mess. I got a few different things going on at one time. One of which is this bowl that is almost done. This is another bowl for another benefit. And as you can see, it's got the epoxy treatment, and the epoxy is actually dry, so I can finish turning this one. I was given some logs. Um, I really have access to pretty much as many logs as I want. Um, didn't know what kind of logs they were. As it turns out, it's more oak. This might actually be red oak, though. This particular one has got some spalting in it, so I'm excited about that. But oak is so heavy. It's such a pain for me to turn on my lathe. But that's not what I want to talk about today. Um, just a couple updates as to what's going on. I made some notes because I have a bad memory and I don't want to ramble. I'm rambling right now. Um, Chris up in Warren, PA. First off, sorry, you had a craft show. I forgot to ask you how it went. I hope it went well. You were concerned about the weather. I was actually on vacation while you were at the craft show. I was actually in Beaver County, Pennsylvania. So, yeah, I was only about an hour or two, three, four away. Anyway, speaking of craft shows, the little town that I live near has two very large craft shows a year, one in the spring and one in the fall. So there's one coming up in November. Um, and I thought, oh, that's cool. Maybe next year I'll do that. But I got an email from someone who said the local woodworker who always takes part in that show is not able to do it. And, would I be interested? The woodworker that normally does it does like bowls and basically all the stuff that I do. I don't know that one, I could be ready in time for November because I don't keep inventory. This isn't something I've ever done before. I know there's a lot of folks that do craft shows. And if you have some advice on that, I'd be interested in hearing it. I'm looking at you, Chris. So I don't have inventory readily on hand. I'd like to say that I could devote a lot of time to just getting ready, but that's not necessarily the case. The other thing that concerns me about this is it's an artesian show. Is there a difference? When I read that, I thought, okay, well, I'm not an artesian. I'm not an artist. I'm a craft maker. Um, so I don't know that there's a difference. It kind of right off the bat gives me a little bit of an uppity feel. I'm not an uppity person. Um, so I don't know. I'm going to look into that and I'm going to see. I'm going to make a phone call because there's some other things about this show that I won't say it's a red flag, but it might definitely be a yellow flag. The entrance to it, like to buy a spot's very inexpensive. It's like $25. It's a 2-day event. Um, you do not get like, I don't know how to explain this. At a traditional craft show, someone walks up to your booth, you like what they have, and you pay that person directly. That's not how it works at this one. Um, the whoever's hosting the event has a single point of checkout, I guess, and they do all of the cash transactions or all of the money transactions, and they keep 15% of every sale. It's not what I would think is a traditional craft show. So I'm kind of on the fence about that, is what I'm saying. What I did do, though, was I did apply for a tax number for Pastor Fred's shop. So if I do craft shows, I at least have that in place already. I'm good to go. I can claim tax. I can do all that, things that I need to do to be legal. Um, so that's just kind of where that's at is, I don't know if I'm going to do this craft show right off the bat or not. I would kind of like to go and look at it and experience it first and then decide, okay, is this something I want to do or do I want to find a more traditional one? So that's where that's at. And I'm looking at these bowl blanks. The chainsaw is still running pretty well, actually. When it gets hot, it does not like to run. So usually half hour, 40 minutes, and the chainsaw is ready for a break. But I'm not what I would say good with a chainsaw. I'm not really good with a chainsaw. I am, I guess I would use the line from a movie, crude but effective with a chainsaw. Because I'm looking at this bowl blank and I can tell you that it slopes down, and on the lathe, that's horrible. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to even that up. I think I have a plan, but I've already cut this one around, and so that's going to create a little bit of an issue. I guess if I had a small hand plane, I could do it that way. Um, a big uh, a big update. A few videos ago, it might have been the towel holder, I think. I said that the bandsaw was making a really bad noise, and I put it in a little caption that that would come back later to prove to be a big problem. Um, I took the saw apart and started kind of looking at things, and I found a little chunk of metal, steel, actually, hardened steel, perfectly square, 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. I knew exactly what it was as soon as I saw it. It was a keyway. Okay, so I started to look at the wheels that the blade itself rides on. Everything was in place. Like, I don't know where this came from. Uh, I looked everywhere. I thought maybe it was part of the blade adjustment system, all of that. I could not find where this keyway went. That particular saw is an older model. It's got a separate electric motor that runs a belt. Here it is the keyway for the pulley that the belt runs on. So that's back together. It is running great, actually. I joked with my wife that it's a little bit bittersweet that I fixed it because I was really looking forward to buying a new bandsaw. Nope, that's out the window. But that one runs great. I just need to get the correct blade for it. That's the issue I'm running with right now. The blade that's on, for what I'm using it for, the blade that's on it probably isn't that great. I'm running, I think, 7 teeth per inch, and really what I'd like to see is a 3 or a 4 teeth per inch with, something with a big gullet that's going to drag that dust out. So the bandsaw is fixed. It's up and running. A couple of the next builds that are coming up next week is a real short and simple, what you have heard me call quick and dirty build. If that video makes it to 10 minutes, I'll be surprised. It's real quick. I was in the middle of another project when the wife said, hey, can you build me 2 of these real quick? And it was real quick. No plans, no designs, no nothing like that. Just shoot from the hip. It needs to be this tall. It needs to be this wide. Just build it. Okay. So that's going to be a quick video. We're going back to Pennsylvania again in October. And while I am there, I am building what I would consider to be a sizable wall unit, shelving unit. Nothing fancy. It's not oak or walnut. I don't work with walnut. I don't work with fancy woods. It's going to be plywood. It's going to be a plywood build, but that's going to be a video coming up. And I'm going to talk a little bit about plans because I actually have a very detailed, proper, printed out set of plans for this. Not that I made. Well, I did and I didn't. I know a lot of people use SketchUp or Fusion 360. All of those, I cannot use those. I don't understand them. So when it comes to wall units and cabinets and things of that nature, and I'm going to talk about this again during the video. I don't know if any of you know who Anna White is. She was like the queen of woodworking when YouTube first started. She built everything, a lot of furniture. Her and her husband basically have a cabinet business. They build kitchen cabinets. And she made a cabinet design program on her website that's absolutely free. It does a pretty good job. It took me a little while to get used to it. But I was able to actually get my measurements and how many shelves and how the spacing and all of that. So if you are building something like that, annawhite.com. And if you've not looked at her YouTube channel, her older videos are better than her newer ones. She goes into a little bit more detail, builds a lot more stuff, but she builds out of common lumber. And all of her plans are absolutely free. You can go onto her website and she's got hundreds of free plans. So anyway, there's that. So that's the next couple builds that are coming up after the wall unit. I don't really know. I don't have a direction after that. I'm sure the wife will give me something that she wants built. She normally does. So I'm going to get ready to get out of here because for one thing, I don't have any windows or fans running and it's getting hot in here. And I'm in the middle of doing some work for the church. And we have people, that clock, I really need to reset that clock. It says it's 5 after 6. Now that's either going to be in the morning, which is absolutely not the case, or it's going to be in the evening. But we have some folks coming over for dinner tonight from the church, and I'm doing some church work right now that I just kind of took a break from. Without going into great detail, if you are the praying type, which I, as a pastor, believe that prayer works. I don't talk a lot about this in my channel, but I am a pastor. I'm a Christian, and I believe that prayer works. There is someone who I know, and I will simply give you a first name. His name is Earl, and he's going through some health issues right now, and this man needs some prayer. And I am of the belief that if one man's prayer is good, then the prayer of many is even better. So if you're the praying type, if you take a little bit of time and just pray for Earl too, as he's dealing with some big health issues right now. So that's all I've got for today. I'm going to get back in the house because it's getting warm out here. And someone's cutting grass next door. I don't know if you can hear that or not. And thanks for hanging out. I look forward to the next build next week. I'll see you then. God bless.